Welcome one and all to our full spoiler review of Star Wars The Last Jedi. We did a non-spoiler review, which clearly isn't very popular at the moment, not a lot of views, because obviously, who wants to watch a non-spoiler review for the movie? You've seen the movie, you want to talk about it, you want to hear our opinion about it, and this is what the show is. Full spoilers. If for some weird reason you press play on this and you think it's a non-spoiler review, even though it clearly states it is, turn it off, go see the film, come on back. Either way, let's just hit it where it hurts straight off the bat. Josh, what was your initial impression of Star Wars The Last Jedi?
My initial impression was I was blown away by this movie. It is fantastic. There is one thing in the movie that did annoy me, but I'll get into that later on.
You'll get into that?
But,
absolutely.
So far, in this movie, the plot works really, really well. Everything falls into place really well. All the performances of everyone in this movie is fantastic.
Yeah.
The one person that stole the movie is Mark Hamill.
Yeah. And we'll get into that, Josh. We'll get into that for sure. So, without doubt, you enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah.
You enjoyed it. Yeah. And certainly with the same, for me, my one-word review out of this film is, and I've heard apparently a couple of other people have said it online as well, is it's ballsy. Courageous is another word to put it. Yeah. And the reasons why is this film is very divisive. I think if you're a Star Wars fan, you either love it, or you're really going to have some fundamental issues with it.
Yeah.
Especially with the handle some of these characters. And let's just get straight into the plot of this film, Joshua. Now, the plot of this film is fairly linear.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a fairly linear, simple plot. It's really about the Resistance escaping their base.
Yeah, through the whole movie, they're just trying
to escape the First Order.
Yep.
And the First Order trying to catch them. But in that very simple main storyline plot, there is layered so much complexity.
Yeah.
I mean, the struggles between, obviously, finding Luke, and then the to and froing, the roller coaster of him, will he, won't he type of scenario. The development of Rey and Kylo Ren was absolutely wonderful. This plot was very rich with concepts and ideas I think that's why people are finding it challenging.
Yeah.
Because overall, this film blurs the line between what is good and what is bad. It tells you that good people can be bad, and bad people sometimes are good. And very much the main characters are all going through that. Luke, his struggle, some of the choices he made in the past. I mean, he comes out and says it,
Yeah.
I mean, about the Jedi. He has a real issue with them.
Yeah, he does.
So really the film, for me, what I loved about it, like I said, every character was struggling with something. Rey feeling like that she could turn Kylo back. Kylo feeling like she could turn Rey. Them having that powerful connection, which we eventually find out Snoke.
Yeah, it was Snoke.
Snoke doing that.
He bridged them for a trap.
But, I mean, that really works well because, there's a line of dialogue and he says, why did you kill Han Solo? And why did you hate him? I didn't hate him.
Yeah, I didn't hate him.
Yeah, he just wanted to erase the past, And Luke just coming out and just, throwing Yoda right under the fucking bus here. This Jedi Master was in control and the Jedi at their height, and they let Darth Sidious come in and rule the galaxy. Yeah. Really, really kind of ballsy stuff. And the ballsiness continues. I mean, straight off the bat, some of these things that blew me away initially was Space Layer. We have to talk about Space Layer. Yeah, how did you feel seeing that on screen? Because we've never seen the Force be used in such a way.
When I first saw it, my jaw dropped and I really didn't know what to think. But then I kind of broke it down, and if you think about it, the Force is literally the energy that controls everything and binds the universe together. Yeah. So you should be able to theoretically do almost anything. Yeah. And in that sense,
it gives you a free pass.
It does give you a free pass because essentially the Force allows you to escape almost any situation. But I really did enjoy it because you haven't seen Leia really use the Force at all.
And you really thought that was the moment. I'm thinking, okay, this is it. This is how Leia gets out of the film.
In the trailer, they did make you think that, and since obviously with Carrie Fisher's death, which was horrible to hear about, you did think that was going to be it, and then she survived that scene, and I was like, wow, so what is going to happen in this movie?
That's right. They had the easy out.
Yeah, they did.
He was sitting there right in front of them. Okay, she dies, Kylo, he doesn't kill her, but the two TIE fighters behind her blow it up.
Yep.
That was it. You could have got out of the story.
Yeah.
Laura Dern's character takes over and away you go. But they didn't do that. And that's the fascinating thing about this film too, Josh, is the fact that they used the Force in ways that we've never seen before. Not only in that scene, but Luke at the end projecting himself into a hologram. Not a Star Wars droid hologram. No, a full,
it's actually,
looks real.
It's himself.
Yeah,
in full color ren. Like, it was that
and had the ability to obviously control matter where he could actually touch people. He kisses Leia on the forehead.
Yeah, he does.
But then a lightsaber just goes through him and doesn't kind of hurt him as well. And that is ballsy to do that, because we had no kind of sense of that before. And it was. I really enjoyed the way he decided just to go for it on that level.
Yeah, which was fantastic.
Really, really good, really you know. And you go back to Mark Hamill's performance that you were talking about
stole
before.
The movie.
It is his best live action performance he's ever done, I think, without question. And that's no disrespect to a very talented individual. But just what he did, the depth that he brought to Luke, the way that he was able to show the audience that he, even at his age, was conflicted with his own feelings.
Yes.
You know, I mean, you can even say that because in the beginning of the film, he's wearing his classic white robes. But he meets Rey, and the first thing he does, he goes back to his thing, and he puts his...
He folds it all up.
Puts it away to go, no, I'm not going to train her. I mean... It really was going in a direction I didn't see it going.
Yeah.
I did predict, however, to be smart,
go on.
that he wouldn't technically leave the island, which he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
But and I think that's the way it should have been. It played out really, really well. So they were two big surprises, the way they used the Force. The other huge surprise in the film has to be, what do you think? The appearance of Yoda.
Yeah,
Did not see that coming a mile away. Was absolutely thrilled with it.
And it was Puppet Yoda as well.
It was Puppet Yoda.
They brought back the practical effects, which I loved.
Yeah.
It really took you back.
Really, one of the great sequences in the film that is full of amazing sequences.
Yeah, the whole movie.
I mean, if you go right back to the beginning as well, that opening scene with Poe Dameron attacking that dreadnought.
The dreadnought, yeah.
And blowing away those cannons and that. And just the fact that he was all gung-ho. We've got to finish the mission. We've got to finish the mission. And he cost people's lives.
Yeah, so many people died.
Just out of his own ego in many ways.
Yeah, and Leia says that. He's like, Poe's like, there were heroes on that mission, and Leia's like, dead heroes. And then he realized, he was like, wow, I actually genuinely made that.
And there goes to that theory of every character
is flawed in this movie.
Flawed.
Yeah.
And Poe Dameron is absolutely. And then you go to Finn, right? And Finn had a very funny introduction into the film, I thought.
Yeah, he did.
With that bag, and it's all leaking fluid and all that.
That was cool.
But he tries to bail.
Yeah, because
he wants to go and find Rey.
In the essence, if you think about him, he's unsure of if he wants to be in the Resistance, because he feels, probably because he's a stormtrooper, that he doesn't fit in there.
Yeah.
And really, the only person he cared about is Rey, because as you see that in The Force Awakens, he just tries to bail right from the get-go.
Well, he knows the power of the First Order, too.
Yes.
He knows what they're capable of. And that's why he's constantly trying to get away from them. Which I kind of really like, in a way. So, and that's great. They really serve us. And then we get introduced very quickly to Rose, who is really and it should be surprising, what a fantastic addition to the film.
She was.
She really was good. She was really entertaining to watch. Kelly Tran did a wonderful job. And what a tough gig to come into a franchise in the 8th film and make a stamp for yourself.
Yeah,
exactly. And she was able to do that, which was wonderful, you know. Kylo Ren, I mean, Adam Driver, if Mark Hamill was the best performance, Adam Driver's number 2 for sure.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Like, the way, the complexity of Kylo Ren, he emotes so well. You really don't know which way his head is throughout the whole thing.
It's going back and forth.
You think he's evil, and then he does something that, you know, can show signs of good. The confliction that he's able to project on screen is really, really incredible, you know. But it wasn't all roses, Josh, I think. I think there were a couple of characters that I personally had some issues with.
Yeah? Who are they?
Well, I reckon you'd know one of them. Anyway, who do you think?
Phasma.
Phasma. What were they thinking with Phasma? A character that promised as a cameo in Force Awakens to deliver more, delivers even less in this film.
Yeah. Like, she's put down a trash compactor. How the hell does she escape Starkiller Base? They never go through. I think the only reason she was in that movie was so Finn could have a fight with her at the end.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it felt like,
Yeah.
didn't it? Yeah. I mean, I didn't have a problem with her escaping the trash compactor. The issue I had is the time of her getting off the planet.
Yeah.
Before it was going to blow up.
Like, yeah, how did she do it?
But nevertheless, she was a waste of a character. Another character I think was underused a lot. It's a nice little sequence, but she promised to deliver so much more. That's Maz Kanata.
Yeah.
Who really isn't like a Battlefront 2 style of holographic action scene, which is quite amusing and does work for the well. But she really is kind of left on the sidelines in a lot of ways in this film.
Yeah.
And there are reasons for that, though, Josh, which I'm comfortable with, is the richness of this movie. You know? Certainly, yeah. Okay, let's talk about the big bad villain, Snoke. What did you think of Snoke?
I did enjoy Snoke. You really got to... Well, in the Force Awakens, you did discover that he really was a one-note bad guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, he was just there to be evil. And I think that's why he wasn't... Obviously, let's just get out of the... Alec out of the way. He dies in this.
Yeah, he gets cut in half.
He gets cut in half.
In a really cool scene.
Yeah. Kylo Ren kills him.
And another example of the Force being used differently than ever before. Because Snoke's Force sensitive, yet he wasn't able to sense Kylo moving that lightsaber around, stabbing him. So that was something interesting. Snoke had a couple of really great scenes, though, before the death scene.
Yeah.
Like, he was really selling his fucking being a mega asshole in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, he was.
And I really liked his scene, but how did you feel about him? What you thought was the big baddie getting cut in half at that point?
Initially, I was kind of disappointed because I was hoping that we would see more. But if he survived, if he was the main big bad villain, then if you think about it, we would have just got a repeat of the original trilogy where he's the Emperor and then Kylo Ren is just his lapdog.
Right.
So I like how they took risks in this. I understand why some people are going to be annoyed because they didn't really develop him that much. But in the end, he really was just there to distract you from the fact that Kylo Ren was the main baddie. And he was there for Kylo Ren to rise above him, which he did in every way.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Snoke was a character. And what it also told the audience is anything can happen now.
Like,
we're going to knock off the main baddie. So
Yeah.
what the fuck is going to go on? And they really deliver some real gold throughout that from there. Look at some of the environments of the place. I thought this film was a beautifully looking film as well.
It's astonishing.
You know, from Act 2, which is always obviously the island planet, to Crate. Crate was gorgeous. Even to the casino planet, which is called...
Bright something.
Yeah, something Bright.
Yeah,
Canto Bright.
That's it, yeah.
Canto Bright. The environments were great and fresh.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It was good.
It was new. I really loved Crate, though, with the salt planet, with the
that was cool.
red soil and
that was cool.
Visually very beautiful. The other new thing that Rian Johnson, who did an incredible job as director, and I have every faith in the world now this new trilogy is going to be something very special. He introduced a more wildlife into the Star Wars universe than we've ever seen before.
He made you care
in one
about it.
film. Because we have 3 different types of species of animal that are playing a part in each act of the film. You've got your porgs in the beginning who are goddamn adorable. Usually I don't get into that, but I really love the porgs and how they were used in the film.
Yeah, they were great at this.
Cheap laughs, I know, but still very funny. To the, I can't remember the name of the lot, horses. In
Horse
Canto Bright.
Yeah, that was
which
cool.
was a key part of them escaping that. And then to the dire wolves at the end, the crystallized wolves, who actually showed them how to escape.
Yeah.
So, which was really good to see that he adds that extra layer to the Star Wars universe, you know? Because essentially in the Star Wars films, the other films, you might see a big animal, a dewback or something,
but nothing.
Really, it's droids and aliens most of the time. So, yeah, look, really like what he did. He really went for it, and I'm so glad that they let him not just repeat Empire. I mean, there's no doubt there are elements of it.
Yeah, there are elements of it. How there's 2 storylines going on at the same time. How the Resistance are trying to escape in the same way that Han, Leia, and Chewie are trying to escape throughout the movie.
Rey goes to
train with Luke, and then how they all converge.
Very Dagobah-like.
The one thing I want to bring up in this movie that I was really happy with is that he didn't follow typical movie tropes where they try to pull off an impossible mission and succeed. Because at the end of this movie, Rose and Finn go on that massive mission, and they fail at the end.
Yes.
Which what I really enjoyed, because in almost every movie, they have two characters doing something impossible and they still succeed right at the end. This movie, in its essence, is a lot about failure of a lot of the characters. If you go through it, Luke, Rey, Kylo, Finn, a lot of the characters in this movie fail someone else or fail in their own journey at one point.
Right. Absolutely, that's so true. And that's because of their confliction.
Yeah.
As though all the characters are conflicted. And it works so well because you don't know where they're going to go. And I've got to say, at the end of this film, I did walk out feeling like I have no idea what direction they're going to go. If I was a guessing person, I would say you'd have it set a few years later. Because you've got an opportunity to do that now. But gee, it really is one of those films there. You walk out in shock straight off the bat, as most of you would know. You walk out clearly trying to just absorb everything and analyse everything that happened. And obviously we went back again the second time in the same day, and that really helped a lot to get the subtext involved, you know. And I really think it's an allegory for today's society, as, you know, we do have things that are... You know, we've got America, who's the overlord, who very much is the First Order. You've got millennials trying to overcome the mistakes of their fathers and mothers and trainers and mentors and things like that. So you've got a very interesting allegory of real life that they've implanted in here about the division and the confliction of what it's like to be a young person, especially in today's society, for sure. So I really appreciate that they go to those kind of deep levels as well. But it really keeps the spirit of Star Wars alive. It's so much, to me, it's so different. It's kind of like A New Hope is very different to the other Star Wars films. And I feel like Last Jedi's got a lot of common with the New Hope, which I really, really, really enjoy. So it does everything right. It echoes previous Star Wars film. It actually directly talks about the prequels to the first time, and thank God. They are much maligned. And you know, it also has echoes of Empire, which kind of works well. You know, the other really pleasing thing I liked about was the music. John Williams' score.
Oh my God, it was fantastic.
And there's the Battle of Crace, and it's an audio track that John Williams did with it. And it's fantastic because you hear elements of all the different characters' themes within that battle.
You hear Rey's, you hear Kylo's, you hear Luke's, you hear
the Millennium Falcon battle theme.
Oh, the bit where
they're going into
and that song came up, I almost cried. I was filled with joy.
And they're not shying away from taking those elements and bringing it around. So you've got a film that's full of great performances, a story that swings for the fences. And some people who don't like it, maybe it's not for them, and there's plenty of other franchises.
This is a very divisive movie.
Yeah, but I'm on the side of thinking I would rather see a film where I'm surprised about them going in a direction than see a film that really is, mate, it's just delivering what I expected. Like, it should be this, it should be this, it should be that. But if I saw that version of that film,
you would have been able to predict everything.
That's so predictable.
Yeah, exactly.
So you want to be surprised. And Rian Johnson did give us some really delicious surprises, absolutely, you know. And a shout out again to, I suppose, Chewie as well, because I didn't mention Chewie before. Didn't get a lot to do in this film, but the scenes he was in, he was great. He had a couple of great scenes. One when he was around the campfire eating the pork.
Yeah, and then the pork looks at him and he's crying.
And there's a scene where
fantastic.
Rey's going out a hatch, and Chewie mentions something, and he goes, "Wise words." She goes, "Yeah, they're very wise words."
Yeah.
We got no idea what he's saying. So I'm glad they keep Chewie around. You know, though he does keep looking younger and younger, which is a bit odd.
Yeah, doesn't make much sense.
Yeah, not really. But and special effects wise, those always looks great. Space battles looks amazing.
Snoke looked fantastic.
Photorealistic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, photorealistic. And there was some hell of a close-ups too.
Yeah, you could see that they spent their time and made everything just look beautiful.
Absolutely. It really did look gorgeous. So, I mean, you know, the Yoda puppet was probably a little bit jarring. Well, you had to realise, it's the puppet. Yeah. Excellent. I'm down with this.
That's what we were used to.
Go with it. Yeah. Absolutely. So, look, overall, Josh, I mean, this film, it's probably my fourth favourite Star Wars film.
Your fourth?
I would say no. Actually, it's battling between third and fourth. It currently is A New Hope. It's just because that was the first film I ever saw.
It's iconic. Yeah, you can't.
It's obviously Empire, but now it's probably The Last Jedi, Force Awakens sits at number 3.
Yeah, it is better than
It is up there. It is definitely up there.
Mm.
It's in the top tier of the Star Wars films for my book. And to give it a rating, I mean, honestly, if I was to give it out of 10, I mean, of course it's a 9.5 for me.
Yeah.
You know, without question. I'm biased. I love Star Wars, and I love what Rian Johnson delivered. I really appreciate the care and love and the hard work that everyone put into the film, and it shows on screen so much, you know. For me, I'll be going back probably a couple more times to see this because there's so much.
Yeah,
great,
like there's
you know?
so much in this movie to
Oh,
digest.
you know what? And I did mention it just quickly to the villains, mate. The villains are absolutely fantastic. Even that guy in the beginning who's captaining that dreadnought. I love that guy. I wish he was in it more.
Yeah,
he was like, shit. He knew it was happening. General Huck's got a bit comedic at sometimes, but he's a great folly.
Yeah.
And I love their competitive brother-like relationship.
Between him and Kylo Ren. Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So.
Or the bit at the end where he's trying to give like Kylo Ren orders, and the Kylo Ren just shoves him to the side, and the guy at the front's like, okay, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, Joshua, for you, you see this as a kid, you were brought up on the prequels.
Yes, I was brought up on the prequels.
You know, so really at the end of the day, how does The Last Jedi sit with you in the film franchise?
With me?
Yeah.
Well, I do love the prequels, but obviously there are a lot of problems in those movies.
Nah.
So, well, yeah. But I am glad how they did go back and reference the prequels a little bit. How there is a lot of Anakin inside Kylo Ren. How he is very conflicted, which was fantastic. But like I'm almost finding it impossible to fault this movie.
Oh, and I
Like,
love
it's just-
the one thing I love. The first time we saw flashbacks too, and I don't think people are mentioning that. We saw flashbacks for the first time in Jedi, and what a great use of the flashback by telling 3 different versions of the same event.
Yeah. So how do you know which one is
Well,
actually?
you don't.
Yeah.
I still don't, after the second viewing, don't know if actually Luke was going to kill him, was going in to murder him, or Kylo was right, or whether Luke was right, or whether Luke's edited version was right.
Yeah,
because no offense, the Jedi are known to be liars here.
Yeah, liars and very
Like
arrogant.
Yoda and fucking Obi-Wan.
They lied
full of
to
shit.
Luke about the identity of his dad just so
it.
he'd kill him. Yeah.
That's it. So, but it's wonderful. No, I know some people online also quickly saying the books that were in the tree that gets set on fire were lost. But you pointed out to me that are actually a quick scene.
At the end of the movie,
they're in her bag.
When Finn opens a drawer and pulls out a blanket for
Yeah.
Rose, that quick 2 seconds, if you look in the drawer, she has the books all there. Yoda pretty much even says it where, like when he's talking to Luke and then Yoda sets the tree on fire, he says there is nothing in that tree which the girl Rey doesn't already possess.
She's already got the book.
She stole the books.
And
from
that's
Luke.
what I love about this film too, because Luke says something very similar for something else. He goes, "What do you think I'm going to do? Walk up to the entire First Order with a laser sword and take them all on?" And that's exactly what
that's
happens.
what he does.
So, which is great. So I gave it a 9.5. What are you going to give it?
I'm going to give it a 9.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna give it
Fantastic film. Now, we want you guys who have seen the film, there's a lot to talk about here. We want you guys to talk to us and tell us what you thought of Star Wars The Last Jedi. You know, you may have loved it, you may have hated it, you may like elements of it and didn't like some of it, but talk to us. Let us know what you think of what I consider one of the great Star Wars films. So don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and get involved, all right? This is Jason. This is Josh. Thank you for watching Star Wars The Last Jedi spoiler review. See you guys.
See you, dudes.